Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everybody. We're so excited. Today is celebratory because we are going to honor our number 9 certified quantum soul guidance practitioner, Amelia. Congratulations. Yay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I love how global our family is. We are calling in. Julia's in Ireland. I'm in California. And Amelia is calling and landing in from Poland. So don't you just love it how we are able to connect and support one another globally during this amazing time? So Quantum Soul Guidance. Julia just started this class in February. Amelia, do you remember when you happened to join up on the team? Did you join in?
I think it was 30th of April. It was a new moon.
Wonderful. Okay, so you tracked the lunar cycles, and before we started recording, you shared something very important about today. Would you mind letting everyone know what today is?
Oh, just that today is apparently a day out of time. It was the end of the Mayan calendar. So I sort of take it intuitively. I haven't read that much about it, but I feel like it's a reset. We're starting, everything seems to have aligned, and we're going forward just completely aligned to our core and to our planet.
Oh, I feel that energy. Julia, you were going to say?
If I remember correctly, when I followed Matthias de Stefano last year, when he was doing his duty of service out of Egypt, he explained that the Mayans and Atlanteans as well, they had 360-day year, and then they had 5 days out of time that kind of created a reset, and then they started a new year, 360-degree circle, 360-degree year. So I believe that's where it comes from as well. Amazing.
I love that.
So great timing for Amelia today. I'm so glad.
Especially that I do come from the void. So a place out of time.
We are gonna get into that. That is a special marker. So it's interesting because Julia, you've taught us there's no accidents. You know, the timing of readings, the timing of a celebration. When we looked and look at ourselves into galactic time, Matthias de Stefano on Gaia TV, you know, talks about going backwards in time. And then Amelia, your marker for today being out of time really speaks to this idea of quantum, you know, quantum soul guidance. So it is this void part where the full potential of everything can come forward. So I love it. It's the perfect placement for your, and number 9, right? The completion, Alpha Omega, right?
And it's actually, sorry to interrupt, I'm number 9 path. It's my life path number.
Oh, I love it. You just can't make this up, right? When you start learning the language of the galactic, of light, it's just you start looking at the synchronicities. So speaking in terms of number, but let's get going. Amelia, I read a little bit of your biography, how you have a whole host of energy-related divinatory practices that include Reiki, Tarot, the Violet Flame, Akashic record reading, and now galactic astrology has been added. Help us understand in your journey how you came upon this galactic astrology component with Julia.
Honestly, I follow signs. I have since I was a child, and the healing modalities, they came through when I was a child. I used to heal my mom's migraines when I was 5, which was amazing. I would just naturally come over and put my hands on her temples and it would go away. She reminded me of that when I did Reiki. That was amazing because I had forgotten. And I was in my family, it was just myself and my mother, and I was accepted as that, you know, that I see things differently. And so I was free to kind of be myself and follow just my intuition from the start. So I do it. I traveled a lot around Europe, around the whole world. I have many, many moments that are very significant. For example, when I lived in New York, I left for New York when I was 19. I didn't know anybody. I just got up and left Poland and went to New York. And I was there about 2 years, maybe a little more. And all of a sudden, like I was supposed to stay there. That was my dream. And I resonate very strongly with the US. And within 1 week, I was packed and I had a flight back home. And that was the end of summer 2001. Just for those who know what I'm talking about. I went home. I lived in downtown Manhattan, so I would have been evacuated. So everybody was angry with me because nobody had a chance to come visit me. And I just packed and came back home. So I do these things when I'm used to not understanding where I'm being led and just following that gut feeling. So with that being said, I went to Ireland. Ireland was really important to me as well because it was about 11 years of my life where I chose to experience it as strictly 3D. That feeling working in a corporation, in finances, and just experiencing the alcohol, the way of life. And when I was ready, I came back home. And I didn't have any teachers. I don't learn very well from other people's experiences. I have to experience things myself. So step by step, little by little, I got to know myself and trust myself completely and love myself completely. It took me about 10 years, but I did it by myself. And so I have complete trust in me. And I went through tarot and, that energy, the Reiki came to me in Ireland, and it was a long road. And then when I moved to the countryside here in Poland, everything just went light speed. Like my expansion just went completely bonkers. I did Reiki, like I think 3 levels of Reiki within 1 year. And my Reiki master told me I can because I have that huge capacity for it. So I'm actually okay to do it. She also told me that Reiki in my case is just an opening into something much bigger that's coming for me. So that was very nice of her. And then I had a visitation during the night where I saw 8 beings, like plasmic light beings, in a circle. And I was pulled, like my energetic body was pulled into the center of it. And we were connected by energy lines. And then all of a sudden I was on the outs, like I was one of the outer people. And after that, I started searching for something 9 beings, something 9. I was familiar with Magenta Pixie. So I knew there was something like a Council of 9. Mm-hmm. So I started researching. And that's how I came upon Elena Danaan. And I found her video about the Council of 9. And while not all of it resonated, it was definitely the only information that resonated somehow with me, especially the void, that part. And I have since checked through dowsing, meditation, and my Council of 9 is not Elena's Council of 9. Mine is a Council of 9 of healers and it is from the void, but it's just completely about healing. And I actually had 2 more visitations from them. One, I had my hands wrapped in plasmic energy. Like, I do work with my hands when I heal. It's mostly my hands that I use. And then I also had an experience where my spine was changed into a crystalline spine, like a energetic spine. So as I talk about it, I feel a little crazy, because there's also a skeptic inside me that kind of filters everything, standing right next to me, that part of me saying, you're crazy, you should be talking about it. But it's something that I know happened. And I followed Elena Danaan, but I don't really resonate with that political stuff. To me, it's still connected to politics. It's something I did experience, did explore. It's not my jam. So I stopped watching, really. I was still following. I was looking at the videos, and then Julia's video came up.
Mhm.
And I said this before, within like 7 minutes of watching that interview, I was on Julia's website basically signing up. There was just no question about it. I felt it very, very deeply. And the reason was that I had been looking for an astrology course, astrology book, something, because I've always been interested in it, but it's also elaborate. There's just a lot of written about something that could be said in 3 sentences. And I like to get the gist of things and then let my intuition tell me the rest. So that's what really attracted me to Julia's course, that all the knowledge that I already had would be sort of put into concise foundation. And then I could go and just explore it myself. And that's what actually happened. So to me, the astrology in the course was something wonderful, because you get everything that you need, but it's short and sweet. There's a lot of it, but it's not this huge, chapter for each aspect. It's just, a few lines, and then you understand it. So the whole course is like that to me. It's like you get this massive, wonderful foundation, and then you can just do anything you want. So yes, that was a long story, but yes, that's how I got into the galactic astrology. I realized at that moment that I couldn't decide on a course, because this is exactly the course I needed to do. So it all fell into place.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much for having courage to share those very personal experiences, and everything you shared. It feels like you're speaking for so many other people that, I get these messages so often of what people are going through. So you're just echoing so many people's stories. I really feel that your story will resonate with so many. And thank you for highlighting the point on the course. I personally really don't like long-winded teachings, so I did my best to just get to the point each and every time. It's nice to have that recognized. I really appreciate that. I'm curious about your galactic center or super galactic center alignments in your own personal charts. Do you know?
Well, I think I came from like my ICMC. I think that's the galactic center. And then the MC is, as Ursula mentioned, I am a shadow eater. It's Scythe, and
Polaris and Orion Nebula.
Yes, exactly. And it really resonates. And this is my focus. Sort of everything else that's in my chart feels done. I've done this, it's fine. So it's the MC is basically, that's where I'm at this moment in time. And that's what I'm focusing on, because the rest, I feel comfortable with. So I've just really embraced that shadow aspect. And it is something that I bring out in people just by being with them in the same room. There are reactions just by me being so free and loving to myself. And free. I think that freedom that I have and that lightness of being, it rubs some people the wrong way. It brings out the shadow, because that shadow is, it's something that is holding them back, right, from embracing themselves. So it's definitely something that I truly, truly resonate with. And even before the course, I started doing a workshop about loving your own shadow, which is kind of crazy. And I based it on tarot, and I use Reiki in it to do some healing. And we use the sacred labyrinth. And it's just, it's really, truly synchronicity every step of the way.
If I remember correctly from some of our group class calls, don't you have like really busy 8th house, even stellium or something, 8th house, 2nd house?
No, 8th house, I have Chiron in Taurus, but my 6th house, my Pisces house, I'm a Pisces, and I have Mercury and Venus and something else there, along with the sun. And then I'm a Virgo ascendant, so I'm also Pisces descendant. So it's
balancing polarities, integrating polarities. So powerful and so transformational, clearly, to be in your presence. And what a blessing. I can't wait for people to resonate with your story, be pulled in, and have an amazing experience. I have to say, when I was reading your certification process reports, the sessions that you had with clients, I had several goosebumps. My heart space really opened up wide. I felt emotional just reading the style of everything that came up in their sessions and their feedback. It was, again, just another level. I feel almost like I repeat myself, but each time it's unique. These are all very unique practitioners of quantum soul guidance, and it's so beautiful that you all have your own flavor and something really special that will bring in certain people, and then it's magical. I'm so happy and so proud. Super well done.
Thank you. I think with clients so far, each client has been different, but the thing that's similar is that identification with that galactic mission rather than something truly here on Earth. So something much bigger than us. And the fact that it's their first incarnation on Earth, pretty much the same as mine. So, and it's more a mission than incarnation. And these missions are huge. Like, I eat shadows, not just for individual people, but I am a shadow eater for the collective as well. And the solar being that I did a reading for, that was part of creating our planet and making sure that it ascends. It wasn't just creating, it was just making sure, right? It's huge. I would sit there going, wow, I can't believe this. It's huge.
I think just responding to your earlier statements, Amelia, my goodness, you talk about multidimensional soul healing. So that whole thought coming from the void of, knowing thyself. And you said earlier, and it really rang true and loud, this idea of once you know who you are, this grounding that you bring, I mean, it's beautiful that your mom is on the side, she's listening, but you said you have to learn it by your own experience. And once it's true for you, you can discern, well, this feels right. And then this might be true for that person, but it doesn't ring true for me. So this type of discernment is nothing about that other person. It's about, I know who I am. And if you would like a session with me, let's just see what comes through. But you're emitting this idea of solidity and anchoring because you already know yourself, and you're still probably still learning. You were the first person in our class to start saying, hey, let's do peer-to-peer sessions. Who wants to join me? And so I was able to go back and watch, because we're in different time zones, and listen and learn. And this is that whole idea of being anchored with this, with the galactic center, you know, this whole, I see midheaven. This is like a rocket ship, almost like a portal of light that you can hold and anchor. So whether you're shadow eating or transmuting shadows, you know, this idea of taking shadows and then shifting them into a different neutralized energy or even beneficial energy. But until like it's in your conscious mind for a session, like, hey, had you ever considered this as your shadow? Because we sometimes don't look behind, or we can't see it because it's such in a subconscious level. But your journey really seems like it's anteed up with energy work. You know, everything, you know, again, the violet flame. Tarot is a way to understand energy, and the Reiki, that you could feel it through your hands. When you mentioned your Council of Nine, when this recording happens, you're going to see the light behind you. The camera shifted. It was almost like they showed up briefly and then it went back to normal. I don't know, Julia, did you see that?
Yes,
Anyway.
three times. Yes.
So that's your journey from where you've been. And now here today, celebrating this advancement as a certified practitioner. I'd love to know, you know, when you first started, this idea of Tau Ceti coming up, that particular fixed star, how is Tau Ceti settling in with you, or a particular fixed star that you absolutely love and identify? Because I think it'll help listeners understand as we start learning our fixed stars.
I'm going to repeat myself, but the void is my jam. That's my strongest. You mentioned Tau Ceti. Tau Ceti, I see again as expansion of consciousness, and it's that energy to me. So I do resonate with it. But with the fixed stars, while I love galactic astrology, and it is an element of the reading I offer because it's only one, I touch on them energetically. Like, again, I don't look at beings, I just kind of feel into them and see what comes up for the client with the Akashic records, with the pendulum, with the cards. I'm a Pisces, I swim in it. I see the current, right, of the flow of the soul, and that's what I pick, and that's what I translate to the client, the sort of the most important touchstones that are there, and where I see they should be reminded of their power, the tools they have, and how they can use them. I don't think I resonate with one fixed star per se. Well, Saif would be probably a close second to the void, because I sort of see it, in tandem. I love, it's not a fixed star, but I also resonate. Black Moon Lilith is up there. It's all that darkness that I can really hold space for other people to be able to transmute it. So I can't really say one.
Good. Well, your answer is nonlinear. It's not, one piece. And Julia always tells us she likes to read. You get a feeling for the chart. You don't read it line by line. It's more about, tuning into the energy. So I think I'm hearing you perhaps say something similarly. And, in that void is oftentimes looked metaphorically as like the dark feminine, the womb, the cosmic womb. And you call yourself a galactic wanderer. Can you comment a little bit about that choice of galactic wanderer? Is that in the void?
It's actually a direct translation from Polish. My friend called me that when I started talking about all things galactic. And I told her, oh, I've been to Andromeda one time when I was walking the labyrinth, and I came to the middle. I just kind of looked up, and like I wasn't there anymore. My energy just went up, and I was in the Andromeda galaxy. And then I came back and I felt a little crazy again. And it's fine. And then I integrated that. I felt into it, and it's okay now. I'm open for things to happen to me the way they're supposed to happen to me. I have that complete trust. And with multidimensionality and galactic wonder, it's very difficult to describe, I think, unless you really are able to feel it. Like, even as I'm talking to you right now, I can feel every cell of my body vibrating separately in different dimensions. Sometimes I get that feeling that I'm everywhere at once and yet nowhere. It's I don't know, it's very difficult to describe. I don't often talk about it because it's something very odd. It's a beautiful feeling, but it's very difficult to describe.
You're doing really well at describing it, even if it may seem odd when you hear yourself saying it. I believe many people are wired this way, and you can see it in the chart as well and explain why you feel and perceive this way. I'm sure there'll be many indicators of that in your chart, and many people are like that, and they don't know how to say it because they feel crazy when they start. And they try to explain to them, and usually you don't necessarily meet the same person within your immediate environment with same composition, so they are all hiding in their closets. So I'm so glad you're speaking these words now, and will touch their hearts, their souls, and they'll be able to identify and feel like, okay, I'm not going crazy. There is actually other people who perceive this way. So thank you.
Yeah, and in fact, what you just said, Amelia and Julia, was this idea that your sessions, Amelia, will help people become aware of their shadows, help transmute them. But the question is why? And I read on your information that it's to help them align with their higher selves. So what you just said about feeling weird, in esoteric circles, it could be this desire so many of us have to have our 3D personality merge with our higher selves, and therefore then being everywhere at once. But this merging and the crystalline, from carbon to crystalline in our DNA at our very core level of physical matter, it's like you are transmitting that. So not transmuting, but transmitting that. And I can see why people want to have one-on-one sessions instead of, just recording. So I think you are right on, spot on. And if you don't mind, because I love languages, could you say in Polish, galactic wanderer for me?
It's galaktyczna powsinuszka.
Thank you. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
See, we're learning a light language, but I also, the whole language is on our world is amazing. Okay, so as we wrap up a little bit, I'd really love, from my heart to your heart and Julia's heart, what message would you have for some of our classmates? Because the class is just expanding, again, with you offering sessions now in Polish and English. We've got German, Dutch, and French as well on the smorgasbord for certified practitioners. But from your heart to your classmates, is there some message that you'd like to offer them?
I think most of all, exactly what Julia talks about throughout the course. Take your time and really don't compare yourself to others. I had been working for at least 10, 12 years on myself and trusting myself. So that part I had down. It was the astrology mostly, and other things as well, because there's a lot in the course, but it was mostly astrology that was new to me. So I actually finished within 6 weeks, but I gave myself another 6 weeks to work so that I could see in practice if I need any more. But if you are just starting your journey with yourself, to yourself, really, to your true self, give yourself time. Give yourself space to truly know yourself, to integrate all that information, because I feel like this course is a one-stop shop for spiritual awakening. So instead of doing a workshop here, a workshop there, you know, going here to a festival or learning this, do this course. Give yourself a year. Allow yourself dark night of the soul to happen throughout that. And you will come the other side as a completely aligned person. And it takes time because you need to integrate it. So I know that feeling. I lack patience because I'm so used to everything happening like this. But it is patience, I think, most of all that you need, and just not comparing yourself to others, because we are all starting from different points and different stages of awareness, of consciousness. So just allow yourself the freedom to take your time and be patient with yourself and just take it in, understand it, feel it in your body, all that information, because that's how you're going to work on the other side. It's going to be, you know, your body that will be telling you what to do.
So wonderfully said, transmitted, such an important and valuable information. Thank you so much. There is one thing I do want to touch on with you that's different, and that is your preference, if possible, for in-person sessions. And it's such a beautiful validation of how the universal marketing team works with you, which I talk about in the course, that you seem to be getting clients that prefer to come in person, meet you in person, and have that experience rather than connecting online or receiving a report. Do you want to just mention a little bit about how you feel about this and why and how you seem to be attracting that clientele?
Honestly, when I was doing the course, I was thinking, you know, English more so than Polish, and Zoom and recording. So I was looking that way, and then it just happened. I like to work one-on-one, and I like to work. I have a beautiful space in the countryside. I have my study, I have crystals, I have, you know, a magical walnut tree that just is beautiful, and we can sit under and chat about it. And it just so happened that the first people that came to me came here in Poland, and it was a friend of a friend of a friend, and it just started going this way. I am open to online readings, of course, but it seems to be happening more and more in person. And even my workshops that I do, the Love Your Shadow, I tried putting it online. It doesn't resonate, but people seem to be coming to the ones that I do here. So I think it just seems that I found my place here in the countryside. And because I created that energetic space here as well, people are just drawn to it, would be my idea of it. But I do obviously offer online sessions as well. It's just, if I could mention something, because I mentioned it, that I offer only one reading, and it's again something, it's a one-stop shop in a way, because I do combine all the modalities that I work with. So I do Reiki clearing. We use the violet flame of transmutation because it works on a cellular level to transform. And then, of course, the astrology. We use the Akashic records. If I'm drawn to it, I pull a tarot or an oracle. I have many, many decks. I use everything that I have just to make it truly transformational. And also the clients I attract are clients that really are ready to do the work. They're ready for the transformation. And they're not just interested to see, oh, where am I from? Which is a valid thing to be interested in. But because of my shadow reading, because of that capacity, this is what I wanted to attract. These are the types of clients I wanted to attract. And these are clients that are coming to me. You're ready to do the work, ready to take responsibility for everything that you do in your life, then yes, come to me. I will definitely assist you in whatever you need.
Wow, wow, wow. Wisdom teaching. This feels so refreshing for especially our classmates, which they're not really just classmates. It feels like a reunion of souls on many levels through Julia's courses. It's so refreshing. What I'm hearing, the word is originality. Embrace your fuller self, and as original, I mean, let the weird come out, the strange, stranger.
Thank you.
I mean, weird, WYRD, right? So I think that has a connection to something pretty multidimensional and metaphysical. So thank you, because I'm sensing and feeling the grounded anchoring of a true original here, that you didn't just stick within the constraints of, well, this is what we were taught, so now I'm going to just push it out this way. But you're like, here, it's the whole embodiment of how may I support, how may I help. So thank you, Amelia.
So amazing. I'm so grateful. Super well done. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for sharing your path with us. Very exciting.